November was a month for the books. We're going to summarize the month of November. We're going to look at the different averages, different indices. We're going to look at what worked and what didn't work. And of course, we're going to talk about December. What are the things that are in front of us? What are the things that might stop the, let's call it, the end of year rally, Santa rally? And let's dive in. Are you ready for it? Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Micha Stocks, and on our channel, which is called Stock Talk with Micha Stocks, we summarize the week. We look at everything that happened on a weekly basis, but on this video, we are going to talk about the month of November. And a quick reminder, as you saw in the disclaimer at the beginning, nothing here is financial advice. Everything and anything that you see is only for educational and entertainment purposes only. Let's dive in. How did the month of November end? Well, it was one of the strongest November month or a month in the market as a whole. The S&P gained 7.7%. In some places, it will show 8.2. It really depends how you measure, but let's leave it at that. Dow Jones up 8%. Russell up 8.5%. NASDAQ up 8.75%. Huge November month. When you look at the different sectors, you can see that the retail went up 11.9%. We're going to talk about, when we talk about December, we're going to talk about the reasons for that. You know what? Let me mention right now. The reason why the XLRE, which is the retail, the XLF financials, and others went up, even XLB, went up, is because the market is right now sniffing that the Fed is going to lower rates. Keep that in the back of your mind. We're going to talk about that through December. Let's look at the Magnificent Seven. Magnificent Seven, Tesla up 16.7%, although the last few days we saw a downturn after the Cybertruck launch. NVIDIA up 10.5%, Microsoft up 9%, Apple up 9.3%. Amazon, Meta, and Google actually lagging in the month of November. Not that good of a performance. Diving in to the different subsectors, leading is the IGV. IGV is software. After that, ITB. ITB 14% for the home builders. Jets Airlines 13.6%. KRE, regional banks up 13.6%. The reason for that, if rates go down, it means that the risk of one of these banks or some of these banks closing shop goes down. That's why they went up. SMH Semiconductors. FDN is, let me look at the chart I have here. FDN, where's FDN? Internet stocks. And gold up 11.4%. Diving into crypto market. Everyone is waiting for the launch of the spot ETF. And that's why Bitcoin is up on the month 6.4%. While I'm recording this video, Bitcoin is trading for 38,700. Why am I mentioning that? Because when you're seeing this video, it might be higher or lower because it trades 24/7. Ether is up, or Ethereum is up 10% for the month. And when we look at our heat map, you can see that except a few companies with specific reasons on why they're red, most of the S&P 500 are green for the month. So Walmart, after a bit of a disappointing forecast saying that prices will come down, disappointing for Walmart, very good for us as consumers. Pfizer, on a downward trend, wasn't able to pick it up. And energy, which wasn't a good performing sector this month, you see the whole sector here on the red. Year to date, look at the different averages. NASDAQ up 46.2%. S&P up almost 20%. Dow Jones up 9.3%. Russell up 7.2%, starting to catch up the Russell. If you remember, a few weeks ago it was around the zero. Now it's up 7%. Actually, in the month of November, it's up. Most of the gain is month of November. And it's a very, very strong month, very, very strong year, because this is year to date. And it again proves that when you buy in downturns, usually you get better gains than when you buy in upturns, and the market always compensates this side or the other. Let's continue and dive in to what might happen in December and onward. The reason why we saw the rally in November, actually into the 1st of December, is because the market is sniffing out the fact that the Fed is not going to raise rates anymore and is actually going to lower rates. Now, the market usually has a happy trigger, meaning that they're kind of optimistic that it's going to happen in March. Probably the Fed is not going to, at least from my perspective, is not going to lower rates during March, probably later, but the market currently is putting that inside their calculations. And if that's the calculation, then the market has a lot of room to run. When we look at, and thanks of course to Charlie Bilelov sharing that information, when we look at what the Fed or what the market is currently expecting, December, 13th of December, a pause. If we're talking about December, a day before we're going to get the CPI. End of January, another pause. March, CPI keep coming down, the inflation keep coming down. Cutting rates, pausing, cutting rates, pausing, cutting rates. By the way, if this happens, keep this, take a screenshot. If this happens as it's described, it's the first time the market is right predicting what the Fed is going to do. It's never right. Overshoots this side or the other. So that's something that is going to move the market December. And another thing that's going to move the market is the SEC, whether it's going to approve the Bitcoin ETF or not, or will not do it in December and wait for January. We don't know yet. We do hear a lot of optimism. We see that the SEC is meeting Grayscale for converting their Bitcoin trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is a good sign, and that's why the Bitcoin rallied, at least till I'm recording this video. That might happen. We're also going to get strategists during the months of December looking ahead at the year end of 2024 and predicting how they think the year is going to end. What we know so far, Deutsche Bank is at 5,100, BMO is at 5,100, RBC is 5,000, Bank of America 5,000, Barclays 4,800, Goldman Sachs 47, and on the downside, Morgan Stanley 4,500. Just quickly to show you, we ended Friday with the S&P 45.94, which means that, let's go back, Morgan Stanley predicts that we are going down at the end of the year 2024 from where we ended this Friday. Interesting. JP Morgan also has a lower price target. It's not here. I'm going to update that next week when we're going to meet again. Seasonality is on our side. December is usually a bullish month. Get ready for that on all the indices, all the averages. And of course, it doesn't mean it's going to happen this year, but 76%, give you a number, from the last 73 years, 74% of them, December was up. If you understand something about statistics, you wouldn't bet against December. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. You don't bet against it. Now let's keep on diving in. Something else that's going to happen during the month of December, Uber, JBL, and Builders are going to be added to the S&P. SolarEdge, Alaska Air, and Sealed Air are going to be taken out of the S&P. This, of course, will help Uber keep their tremendous run from the last few months. I think people thought that they're going to probably be included, and that's why the stock went up. And of course, we talked about seasonality. You can see, and thanks for Carson Group for that, you can see that if we put in the 10% rally that we had so far, the statistics, everything, we're supposed to end the year around 4,800. And this is where we are currently going back on trend. Will it continue? We'll see in the next few weeks. And at the end of it, let's just look at the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, as you can see, ended Friday, December 1st, right where it ended 4 months earlier, 27th of November, right when it ended 30 March 2022. Meaning that if we are able to break to the upside. That will be a huge catalyst for people to close their shorts around 4,600 is very, very dramatic. If we see a pullback, then again, we've just got rejected at the same 45 or 4,600, which is usually not that of a positive sign. So now you need to decide if you're optimistic or pessimistic. If you're pessimistic or a bear, we ran from 41 to 46 without any correction, which means we left gaps. There might be a correction. If you're a bull, you might say, what I see here is a huge cup and handle. Cup and handle, from a technical perspective, usually predicts a movement that will be to the upside, as you can see here in my drawing, to the upside, that can result in the S&P in the next few months, year and a half, getting over to 5,600, which is another 20-25% from where we are today. Why is December so dramatic? Because December, we will see another CPI print, and if it shows another decline in prices, that will be dramatic. We will get the FOMC. Hopefully, we'll pause, although the members are not saying that in that way. All these things are in the cards. Will there or might there be surprises? Of course, there might be surprises. Quick reminder, Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, the war is still happening there. Ukraine, Russia, war is still happening there. China, new virus, yes, no one really knows. That might spook the markets. A lot of things might spook the market, but from what we know today, it seems like we might get a December rally. You can write me in the comments if you believe there's going to be a December rally or not. You can also smash that like button if you got to this point in the video. I'm Micha Stocks. Have a great week, and I will see you next week on our weekly summary. Till next time, bye-bye.